All right, so hey guys, welcome to the Very Serious Business Podcast. I'm here with Aviv and Emma, founders of Last Call. Yeah, so say hi, guys. Yeah.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, yeah. So
He's correct. That is us.
So they started this company about a year ago. I'll have them kind of walk the audience through it, but yeah, why don't you guys explain the business? So what is Last Call? How does it work? And tell us. Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially we're an SMS marketing platform for bars. So they will subscribe to our service and then we provide them with a platform to send out promotional blasts about events or drink deals that they're running so they can connect to their customers in real time and hopefully boost traffic and revenue.
Yeah. So very cool. So bars will basically sign up, and that way it just makes it easy for bars to send out text blasts to a lot of different people, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So customers sign up by scanning a QR code when they're at the bar. And then
Oh,
from
okay.
there, the
Okay.
bars can send it out to people who've signed up.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
cool. How'd you guys, what was the inspiration for the idea? I believe Emma worked in like the bar industry for a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that how this idea came about, or what?
So I was a bartender in New Orleans, and I worked at a few different places.
Okay.
And at all the spots, especially as like a new bartender,
Yeah.
I'd have to work like a Sunday shift or a Wednesday shift, and it was slow. People weren't coming in. And I also saw my managers trying to do things to get people to come in, whether that was like events
Cool. Yeah.
or social media. Like at one place I worked at, they didn't even have a social media, and we were a music venue. So I
Yeah.
was like, hey guys, I think we should make one.
Yeah.
Just like engage people. So from there it was clear that it was a problem. And then me and Aviv reconnected, we tackled it. Long story
Yeah.
short.
So yeah, so you guys are friends from middle school, right? And then you guys just basically happened to run into each other at a bar, and then kind of pitch this idea back and forth, or
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we went to the same school in DC and met and then kind of lost touch in college when we went to our different universities and then found our way back to each other at a bar last year's New Year's. And Emma, we were having a good time dancing and she was like, oh my gosh, I have this idea. I study computer science, so I have some tech background.
oh
She's
yeah,
like, you
yeah.
could build this. And I was like, okay. And then, yeah, that's honestly kind of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to call you. And she's like, allegedly didn't believe me.
I did not believe her. I was like, ugh, everyone has a big idea.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, didn't think too much of it. And then, yeah, didn't get a text the next day. Turns out my number had changed since last time she called me back in like high school, middle school.
Okay.
So
Oh, okay.
she
yeah.
DM'd me on
yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah,
and
I
that
was
is
like-
the real.
Can we chat?
Yes.
And this was not our first partnership when we were
Oh,
kids.
tell us about what else. Yeah,
We
I'd love
started
to
an
hear some.
Instagram.
Okay, and what was it? Yeah, tell us about it.
It was called Tuesday Adventures. So
Okay.
every Tuesday we'd go on a different adventure. We lived in DC. So
Okay.
we'd go to different spots.
Yeah.
And the Instagram's still standing today. It's really adorable.
Are you guys still somewhat active on it, or?
No, but we should.
Oh,
we can
okay.
bring it back.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
the password
okay.
may be long gone, but we
Okay.
could.
Yeah, it might
Yeah.
be long gone.
That'd be funny.
That'd be really
If we
cute.
promoted last call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was like high school. You guys did this Tuesday adventure things, or
Middle
what?
school.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 7th grade.
Oh, good for you
Right.
guys. You guys were taking action in middle school. That's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
cool.
You know,
yeah.
vlogging or Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Our first entrepreneurial pursuit. Yeah.
Did you guys go to high school together too, or did you guys?
Yeah.
For that? Oh, okay, nice. Were you guys pretty good friends in high school and stuff, or you guys still pretty close in high school?
I would say we would
Yeah, we
like
would go-
interact.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay,
we
yeah,
would
yeah.
like hang out.
We went on a
and-
trip together.
Yeah,
First
we went on a
synagogue.
trip.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely nowhere like we talk today, like,
Yeah.
like every day,
Constant communication.
constant
Yeah.
communication. So definitely have stepped up that since high
Yeah.
school. But
Yeah.
yeah, we were always friends.
What do you guys think? I think, I don't know. I think it's okay to go into business with friends and family, but a lot of people say, money and blood
Yeah.
don't mix. What's your guys' opinion on going to business with friends, and how has that been so far? If you guys don't mind me
Yeah.
asking.
I think we're in a perfect situation where we were friends as like children and teens, and so like I
Yeah.
know Aviv and I trusted her,
Yeah.
but I didn't feel like I was going into business with someone who was like already in my life
Yeah,
at the time when we started this,
Yeah.
and I think that
yeah.
was a good move because we do have to have conversations that are uncomfortable, but they're not uncomfortable because
yeah.
Oh, good for you guys. Yeah.
we started off in this venture.
So you think when you started, or I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What are you gonna
No.
Okay. When you started with Aviv, you said like, oh, she wasn't like in my life as much before. Is this business what kind of made you guys reconnect?
Yeah, from day
Okay.
one, right?
Yeah, definitely. Really, like after that first conversation, we were like, I don't know, calling at least once a week,
Yeah.
if
Oh,
not
nice.
multiple times, texting at all hours of the day at this point. Like, definitely.
Yeah.
Can I ask? I know I personally like. I was always a fan of entrepreneurship since like 8th grade-ish, something around there. I know Aviv, you said you kind of always liked entrepreneurship. Did you always like when you're younger? You're like, oh, I want to start my own business, or no? It just kind of happened.
I definitely did some things that had the entrepreneurial spirit. When I was a kid, I started a babysitting
Dude, nice.
business.
Okay.
And then when I was older, I actually ran a friend's OnlyFans account.
Oh,
and
really?
I grew that. Yeah. And so there's always things that I was like, kind of led me to this path in life. But before I was doing this, I was really passionate about doing something like just within mental health and wanting to give back,
Nice.
which
Yeah.
I think I'll come back to later in life.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
who knows?
Cool. But Aviv, you always kind of knew you wanted to be an entrepreneur, or no? Am I?
Yeah, no, I always wanted to at some point in my life. I just didn't know what the timing would be. Like, I always kind of thought it'd be more of like later in life.
Yeah.
After I had like more real world experience, but I don't know. Yeah, it's so compelling to have something that you built on your own, having ownership over something that people use.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned earlier, my dad was always in the space, so I kind of had a sense of what the lifestyle entailed, what type of work was coming out of it, and yeah. But then in college, I really had I kind of refined it. Like, I really like tech, but I also really like business, and I knew that my role, I wanted to do something kind of merging the two.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Do you have family of entrepreneurs, or you just kind of did cool stuff on your own? You know, like, do you have like an environment? Did you grow up in like an environment like that? You know?
No, not really. My dad is a software engineer, so he was always building things, whether that was like hardware or software.
Yeah.
But it definitely wasn't like a let's bring this to market type situation. It was more of just his passion projects.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah. So in general, it's mostly on my own. But once we started this, I've become obsessed. I've fallen in love.
Yeah.
It's addicting.
Yeah, dude. What do you think? Cause like obviously, I'm sorry. What was the hustle? Oh, your own babysitting thing.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like starting your own stuff when you're younger like that is weird, kind of weird. You know what? I don't know. It's like what made you do that? You know, like it's basically like give a personality that's always like, oh, I want to go my own way and do my own thing. Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Oh,
for
cool.
sure.
Me too. Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just, especially when we were kids, it was just fun to, it is like a form of creativity.
Yeah,
so we
totally.
got business cards, and then we were like
babysitting. Oh, you did? Nice.
And we put up flyers around the neighborhood and just, really on the ground marketing.
Yeah.
And it was exciting. And then people wanted us to take care of their kids or help out at birthday parties. And, we weren't necessarily revenue driven as like 11, 12, 13-year-olds.
That'd be crazy.
But but it was like a fun project. Like,
wait, you guys are both a part of it, the babysitting?
No, but I actually also, like, we had like a neighborhood listserv, and it was always like pushing my advertisements towards the top. So honestly, yeah.
Wait, say that again. What would you have a neighborhood what?
Like a listserv where people would be like, oh, I'm looking for a couch. Like,
yeah.
Kind of like Facebook Marketplace before it was a thing.
Like those email chains.
Neighborhood specific.
Yeah. What'd you do? And so do you have any cool entrepreneurial pursuits before last call? Or just like cool side hustle, sell Pokemon cards or flip shoes or something like that,
Nothing like that. I tutored and I babysat and like would also like run summer camps out of my house, like for my like siblings and stuff. But
okay, on topic, that's cool.
Yeah,
but that was just
like run services.
Oh yeah, and like at my synagogue, I kind of helped organize stuff. But
okay, nice.
Yeah, but all of that was really like I had like a Panera obsession, and like I just needed some sort of way to like fuel my like bagels and stuff. So I was just trying to make ends meet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Our high school was right next to a Panera.
I gave them
so much money. Sure.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Was that the motivation for whatever your synagogue hustle was, just to have Panera money, basically?
That was volunteering, but all the babysitting and tutoring was, Panera.
Okay,
like literally, what else could I spend money on? Like
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
CVS,
like the occasional, like, I guess, like, iTunes songs.
Right.
You paid for iTunes back in the day?
Back in the day, for sure, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you pay for music back in the day? You went, like, LimeWire, stream stuff, or?
Yeah, iTunes.
Oh.
I remember I'd beg my dad for, like, the explicit one, and he was like, don't tell.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my mom would bet the lyrics of every song.
Yeah,
It was, like,
same,
so heinous.
same,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow, okay. I was always big on pirating stuff back in the day, you know? Yeah, it's interesting, though. Wait, so you guys, if you guys don't mind me asking, you guys mentioned synagogue. Are both you guys Jewish, or would you say, okay.
But we practice differently.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I was going to ask you at the end, do you guys think, you know, some people say, like, the universe is pushing me towards this direction, or obviously people use the word God is pushing me towards this direction. Do you guys have you guys felt like God or the universe or whatever, consciousness, yourself, whatever, have you guys felt any, like, guidance from that force at all in your life? And if so, specifically, do you think that led you to last call? Or what do you guys think?
I don't know if I connected necessarily in a Jewish lens, but I definitely do think, like, anytime, like, there are big major coincidences that lead to something bigger, like, I do believe that it was happening for a reason. I don't know if I would necessarily say it was planned for me, but I definitely think, like, there are some forces at play that definitely, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like, how we got back in touch is her really good friends are friends with the guy I later started dating. And then through that connection is how we reconnected. And it was just so random to, like, find our way back to each other. And yeah, like, I think there's something behind that. Yeah.
I think also apart from spirituality, like, Jewish culture really does, I think we were raised similarly with the grind.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude, okay, yeah.
So that's, like, not as, like, a bigger force, but I think even if we had different upbringings, like, under a Jewish lens, it was definitely, like, I don't know, my parents really push a hard work ethic in a good way.
Yeah. I had, I actually asked one of my professors this, back in community college. I don't know, I feel like Jewish people are usually, like, a bit, like, book smart, you know? And his theory behind that was that, like, oh, they're always supposed to study the Torah and stuff when they were younger. Do you think that's what it is? Do you think it was, or no, do you think it's just in general you guys are raised with the work ethic? Because he had a theory that specifically, because you guys have to do so much, like, reading this book over and over again. That's what instills the discipline? Or do you guys think you just happen to grow up in a disciplined culture?
It's interesting.
I think, like, our levels of, like, Torah study, I'm
yeah,
sure vary a bunch.
I think we're gonna have different answers.
I think we have answers, but for me, that theory I've heard a bunch and is, like, pretty proven. Like, I know in like South Korea they study Talmud, which is, like, basically, like, commentary on the Torah, because it's very like legal. Like, this person said this, and then, like, using their exact choice of words to, like, extrapolate how we should behave. It's like very legal, and so. And very, like, logic based. So a lot of, and it's kind of even mathematical. So a lot of people do, like, really take that to mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, the applications are pretty far and wide. But I think, like, thinking critically. Not to say that Jews are the only ones who could do that.
Obviously.
But no, there's something there for sure.
I think also So I'm not practicing, but I was bat mitzvahed.
Yeah, sure.
And so it was, like, something growing up that I had to, it's just, like, extra school.
Yeah.
Like, you're just doing extra learning.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely something.
That in and of itself,
Yeah.
Like,
do you think you guys learn, like, logic, and do you think you guys are a bit more better at critical thinking and logic and stuff because of that, you know? Yeah. Or no, because, like, you did computer science is obviously a very logic-based thing, you know? Do you guys think so?
I think between the two of us, like, part of, like, the reason we work so well is because we definitely have, like, a balance on the team. Like, I think I'm very, very logic driven.
Okay.
And I don't know how you would explain your.
I would say I'm, like, how do you explain it?
Like, the big idea.
Yeah.
Like, we should do this.
Like, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. Like, I call the like 5 things to tell you, and, like, we should just send it. And then she's like, okay, love the idea.
Yeah.
But, like, let's break it down.
Yes.
But someone has to bring it to the table.
Right. And, like, I wasn't going to have the big ideas because I'm, like, so in the details. So,
yeah.
like, we definitely balance each other well. But I would say, like, the actual like coming down, like how are we gonna like make this puzzle like all fit together, like, but also my like STEM background, I feel like also plays a role in that.
Well, okay, so you would say that are you kind of more the data-driven person and she's more the, like, cool, fun ideas type stuff? Or
I
is
feel
that
like we're
an
both pretty
oversimplification?
data-driven.
Yeah, we're both data-driven. I think maybe an example would help.
Can you think of an example?
Well, just earlier,
okay.
like Emma had this, not in terms of data-driven, but just in general, like Emma was like, let's film content for our social media. Like, let's go to a bar and like walk through the bar and like explain our product. And I was like, well, we're gonna be at a bar, they're not gonna be able to hear us because we don't have a microphone.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay, wait, yeah, true. But I would never have done any social media, so then we kind of like workshopped how we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And we'll keep you posted on that. Hopefully that post
I was
soon.
like,
let us
maybe
know,
that should be part of our bit that we don't have a microphone because we are bootstrapping. So we don't have money to buy one.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, that would be really funny if we were in the bar like, hello, and like that was the whole thing.
Yeah, that's
so that's like how our back and forth kind of goes.
Yeah.
So
also
you guys,
like features. Sorry.
No, were you saying features as well?
I always call people, I'm like, do you think we can do this? And then she's always like, yes, but.
Yes, but. Yeah.
You wouldn't say, would you say you're pessimistic or no, you're more just analytical? And that's okay, like my brother's he's somewhat pessimistic, you know. But
I would say like, somewhere between like pessimistic and analytical.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think you're optimistic.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think it's just the risk orientation.
Yeah,
I think like,
I know
he's like, I don't want to take the risk, and I'm kind of like,
okay, yeah.
Similar. Like, I'd rather ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, right.
Maybe that's not, like, someone actually forgiving, but if, for example, we onboard too many customers at once.
Are there some, like, niche, like, regulatory compliance thing that we didn't hit just right?
Yeah, because we have to send a text with alcohol.
Oh.
I'm kind of like, let's just see what happens.
Dude. Yeah.
And I've learned a lot from that. Like, it is right, and a lot of the feedback we've gotten from other entrepreneurs is, like, you're so small, you're not going to do it right. Like, just, like, go as fast, as hard as you can.
Yeah. And
then kind of, like, reel it in when the issues are coming.
Yeah.
Which is, like, so not how I'm programmed, but I've definitely, like, adjusted and learned, and Emma's been helpful. And
so you guys definitely have a, like, a mutually beneficial dynamic in terms of, like, your personalities, you would say?
Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find a team.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's a very, like, intimate, like, close working relationship. Like, it definitely does need to work really well. Like, you hear about, like, big founder breakups all the time. Like, yeah, like, you need to be very compatible, very, like, symbiotic.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I think we got pretty lucky.
Yeah.
In our dynamic.
I think we did, too.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to, like, working with friends and, like, it was pretty lucky that I knew who she was and had trust. And
yeah. That's pretty cool. All right, one of the actual questions I had is like, so what inspired you guys to come up with Last Call and how did the idea first come out? It was basically from you bartending or what? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Just knowing that there were so many issues within the service industry, and that there is a lot of opportunity for solution, and so we honed in on the problem of just bringing in customers.
So how so? When you say there were issues, I know you said like, some of the bars didn't have social media and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? It was just hard for bars to like communicate their promos and stuff like that? Or what were these like issues you're talking about?
There's a lot just operationally because it's a lot of work. And then you usually find it's an owner doing it or maybe an owner and a manager. I mean, it looks different or maybe there's multiple managers.
You're talking about the marketing, the like communication?
Just bars in general.
Oh, okay.
They still have a lot of work to do. Like they have to do marketing. And they also have to make sure that the bar is stocked and staffing and everything, planning events and, you know, making sure the water's turning on. It's very,
There's also a lot of turnover on the staff. Like it's, there's
always fires in the industry? There's a lot of turnover?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very like fast paced, you know, also when you're like customers or like when your patrons are people who are like drinking a lot, it's obviously very different than going to work at, you know, like a big corporate office.
It's very, I mean, that's like issues in itself on a night out. They have to deal with spills and broken glass and maybe offensive things being said.
Yeah, sure,
It's just drama. Because I mean, that's what happens when people drink.
Yeah. You never did bartending though. You were the only one that was that was a bartender, right?
Yeah.
Do you think I don't know the answer, but do you think bartending like toughened your skin and helped you, like? Do you think you learned lessons from bartending that you used in last call, or not really? It was more just like really?
I think in one way it definitely made me tougher, like standing up to people. But it also made me, I think, kinder, like learning that when you respond with something nice to something mean, like it really works out. Yeah. So just learning those skills in customer service, I think has made me overall like more understanding, and I still work in service now, part-time.
What do you do part-time right now?
I'm a cocktail waitress part-time.
What's the difference between so you don't actually bring the
I'm not like
drinks
making the drinks, I carry them.
Oh, that's cool. Do you like it? Is it fun? Do you have like a cool uniform? Is it fun, or it's just kind of a job right now?
I think it's really fun.
Oh, okay,
it's basically like I'm out. And I'm running around, and I love talking to people. I'm super extroverted, so anyone that's like a fun interaction, I'm like...
Same. Are you, would you say you're extroverted, or not as much? Not really.
Not as much, for sure, but I am extroverted. I like talking to people and getting carried away in conversations. But Emma's next level, which also is like like next level. But it's awesome because her bartending experience also helps. Like she knows how to communicate with bar people, like when we're going out trying to make sales.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like you get energized from this job, which otherwise I think would be really draining. Like trying to like make sales all day to bars.
Oh,
like
okay.
I get a dopamine hit. That's like more than anything else when someone's interested in working with us.
Yeah. Is it a lot of rejections? I mean, I've seen any startups like that. It's a lot of no's and cold calling type stuff you guys got to do.
Absolutely. I think for us, and we had to learn this, it was a lot of initial excitement, and then managers just, like, we lose the momentum.
You mean in the sales process toward like a bar? Oh, okay. So explain that. Are you like the owners initially excited, and then the GMs kind of get in the way, or what?
Vice versa. That's a good question. So it's like you talk to GM, and then they're like, yeah, we actually really need this. And so the problem is very validated. We've talked to so many people, like hundreds, and they're like, yeah, no, we really need this. And then something comes up. There's so many different objections, like the owner doesn't want to pay.
Oh, okay.
Or like the owner wants the space to be nicer before we promote it. It's like an interesting one.
Is that common? They want the space to be nicer before they promote their bar?
I've gotten it a few times. Or just like we're not ready to promote.
Yeah. Or they're too chaotic at the moment to like take on a new thing.
Yeah, like we're so busy, like 3 bartenders just quit, we're trying to hire. What else? But then it's hard because we're in touch with the managers. We're not in touch with the owners. I know if I talked to an owner, they would be down. Like I would be like, this is easy. Yeah. But when I don't have that direct line, and obviously you have someone within the bar, like a bartender, manager advocating, they don't know, like, we're obsessed with our product. So they don't know, like, every, answer to every objection.
So why is that you guys end up talking to the managers? Is it just because that's, like, who's on site when you're pitching it, the owner's not there?
Yeah. I mean, you'll find that owners don't live in the city. That don't mean they're far.
Yeah.
So, but it's all so different. Like, I've gone to places and the owner's behind the bar.
Yeah.
I've gone to places where they're like, oh, it's a big hospitality group. They have like 20 spots. Yeah. There's like a marketing person you have to talk to, social media coordinator. It's like very different, corporate versus non-corporate situation.
Yeah. Okay, so you said people object to the pricing. What is your pricing model like? Are people paying per text? Are they paying like a monthly fee, or if I'm the bar owner, what am I paying you guys?
Yeah. So right now we're rolling out beta testing, so we're just doing a monthly fee.
Okay.
Which will include everything.
Can I ask what month the fee is right now? There's like a rough ballpark for any bar. $
99
a month.
A month. But when we're further developed and we have this data from our beta testers, we are going to make it tiered, which will be per text.
What's the difference? Oh, okay, just per text type thing. Okay. Are you guys planning to have someone still pay a set fee per month and also the per text, or just like a per text model? Or have you guys not thought that? Thought that far yet?
Yeah.
Well, I like having a base. Yeah, because there are just some like overhead monthly costs, like for the phone number that they're going to use, and like.
Oh, okay.
again, a lot of like regulatory things that they need to cover. So
Yeah, can you tell us what is? I figured that you wouldn't really need to do much. Like, what are the regulatory hurdles to just send an SMS thing out?
so any like mass SMS marketing, you need to get basically approval. Like a lot of like consumer protection, like they don't want consumers getting overloaded with spam. Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of the carriers are really aggressive about like clearing out spam and stuff. So anyone who's going to be like legally doing it across like any platform, you need to get it approved, and that's you have to have like a clear use case, a clear opt out protocol.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to be promoting alcohol or anything, you have to have a very clear like age gating verification.
There's like a certain umbrella of things
they're
not allowed to text about. So it's sex, like drugs, alcohol, hate crime. It's like, I think that's pretty much the big umbrella. Yeah. But then obviously drugs are illegal, alcohol is legal.
Yeah.
So you can send text about alcohol, but we have to make sure, and that's one of our selling points is that the people signing up are over 21. And so that's what we've built into our product.
How do you build that in that the people are over 21 sign up?
That's a great question. So when the users are first signing the form, if they're not 21, they're not able to.
And is that just because they're not going to be in the bar looking at the QR code?
Well, ideally, they wouldn't be in the bar to begin with, but that's above our scope. Even if you're in the bar, you go to the QR code, submit your information. It's not going to let you in the system if you're under 21.
Okay.
Yeah, and then again,
then you're just a yes no thing, or do they submit like their name and address and stuff like that?
We're taking name and birthday, like in like month, day, year form.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they also get a text that asks them to again verify their birthday. Nice. Again, this is like a regulatory requirement.
Okay.
And so that is a hurdle because it definitely is like another step, and you're always gonna lose some users.
Yeah, just on the extra
in this step. But again, we're like committed to making it as easy as possible while still being an adherent.
Does the government require that you like check it? They give you their name and date of birth. They require that you check it against some database, or no? As long as they state that they're 21. Okay, nice. Yeah, that's what I think. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So the people that are signing up, or the consumers that are signing up for your product, are most of them like in the bar and they're just like scanning like a code that has a QR code on it, or
and this is something we're rolling out. So we're about to work with a spot that will have the QR code at receipts, but the main goal is going to be digitally. So on the pop-up on their website.
Okay,
because they're an ex-golf location, which is a golf simulator. So they have a lot of traffic going to their website because people need to book out spaces. So I think the pop-up, I think will do well, but we'll have to see. For now, though, we have another spot that plans on just doing QR codes on the table. So we're learning what works. So for now, it's kind of leaning into what they want for their bar.
Yeah.
I think once we got data that was like, this is the way to go, then we could really be like to our other customers, this is what works.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. How'd you come up with the like receipt thing? Because that's clever. How'd you come up with putting the QR code on the receipt?
I just know from working in service that you can edit the receipts.
Okay.
So it was like we've thought about so many different touch points. So receipts, menus, bathrooms, tables, and then digitally sharing the link. Yeah, we have big plans to really test it out.
What are the ones you're most excited about so far? Bathrooms, coasters, tables,
We have stuff up in the bathroom right now at one bar, and people are scanning it, so it's exciting. Nice. I don't think it gives the biggest sign-up rate.
Yeah, like per thing.
Yeah. I'm most excited about receipts. I'm curious.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. I'm also curious just digital versus in person. Because when you're in person, you're there and you're like, whoa, I really love this bar and I want to come back. Versus digitally, it's like have you been there? Have they not been there? There's a lot of different ways to analyze it.
What will the digital things look like? Is this just the pop-up, or what is the digital thing?
Pop-up, like they could have it in their Instagram bio or something like that.
Okay, yeah. Just to sign up for text and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One day would love to do you can send the link around and get a deal if enough people sign up.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
We're not there yet. Right now, we're just gonna do the basics and then go.
It's in the backlog.
Yeah.
So what is obviously you said there were regulatory hurdles. Are most of them like government, or are most of them just like the carriers like want to have their strict restrictions? You know, like the extra hurdles you have the hoops you have to go through, are most of them from the carriers, or most of these like laws that are in place?
Well, certain policies have been passed, so it's a response that the carriers have. So they're like, we need to check ourselves.
Because
so it all trickles down, for sure.
Okay. I mean, when you're going through these hoops, is it like, are you going through like the Illinois board of whatever, or are you going through Comcast? I mean, are you going through like Verizon to do it?
The second.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they just have more resources.
Yeah.
We also have like an SMS provider, and they also have a lot of resources.
Can you explain that? What do you mean you have an SMS provider?
So there's a third party. It's called Telnix, and they essentially have an API that actually processes the SMS sending.
Nice. Okay. And so is that like that's who everything goes through? Is you guys have this Telnix company, and then when they sign up, all the texts end up being handled by Telnix? Yeah,
they do the sending. And we use their API and integrate that into our platform.
Nice. Okay. Okay. I mean, this was obviously my question down. So what goes into this? Like, I know, like, if you were to say, oh, I started a website or I started like a brick and mortar store, people get that. But like, how do you even go about an SMSing? Are you like, do you just call up the Verizon customer support number, or like, how does that work? Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, okay, so like if I were to start a website, like most people have the basic idea of what you have to do to start a website. You just go on WordPress, you just go on Squarespace, and you drag and drop items and stuff like that, or in HTML. But like, what goes like? Who do you reach out to? Like who do you reach out to, and what goes in like an SMS thing? Because like, is it? You guys understand my question? Or?
Yeah, we have to learn. I think there's always going to be like APIs that you could use.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Like for like sign in, you could use like the Google sign in API and like add that into your app.
Yeah.
I mean, with AI now, it's very easy to, like, it's easier than it ever has been to build out code and deploy things quickly.
Yeah.
Like with like more limited experience. We never actually had to like call Verizon we just looked up like best SMS providers basically.
Basically, what happened was we were like, this is going back to the how the idea originated. We wanted a platform where bars could send out blasts to their customers. And we were thinking that it would be largely app-based. So people are on the app, then they get a blast.
Okay.
But then started thinking about...
Is that what your initial idea was, to have it on an app?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. And then I was talking with my dad, who's a software engineer.
Yeah.
And he was like, have you heard of Twilio? Then I texted Aviv, and I was like, have you heard of Twilio? Like, we could really test this. And then you were like, let me see.
Yeah.
And then that's how it went from there. Then we started learning about SMS and the value of SMS, and it felt like we hit a jackpot.
Okay, nice. What made you think you hit a jackpot with the SMS? Just the simplicity of it? Or
learning how effective it is. So SMS open rate is like 98%. Which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Email is 20%.
Oh, okay.
Social media is 4% of followers.
Okay, these are good numbers now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's why I get really excited about SMS, because it's reaching everyone, and that's exactly what we were trying to do. And so then we eliminated the barrier.
Exactly. And then you also don't have to download an app, which
is a huge friction thing. Yeah. Okay, very cool. Okay, so next, written down question. How do bars typically boost attendance and sales? Do they just simply sign up for your service? Like, if I'm a bar, what are the hoops I have to go through? Do I just talk to you? Or what does a bar have to do to get this service in them?
Yeah. Talk to us.
Talk to us.
We'll get you set up.
Right? Yeah. We're very hands-on because we're in our beta phase. So with the bars that we work with, we talk about where they want their QR codes. And then from there, it's really easy. Okay. They just put it up.
Okay.
Or put it online, or
So are you guys going through and like going on Alibaba and ordering these like QR coasters, or Are you guys ordering like the swag that has the QR codes on it, or what? Like, or do you just tell the customer, hey, take care of this and order some QR code posters?
Yeah. So far, we've ordered posters.
Okay, nice.
But obviously, with receipts, nothing's going to need to be ordered. I'm trying to think of the other people that we're working with. It's really right now case by case basis.
Okay.
Because we're in our early stages.
Yeah. So do you guys all the customers, you guys just kind of give them a free run for it, like the trial, basically, like the customers you have don't have to pay this $99 thing right now because you guys want to build the proof of concept, basically. Is that the phase you guys are in?
I'd say for the most part, yeah. Like,
do you guys have paying customers that pay the $99 whatever the fee is right now, or no?
It's in the works.
Okay, yeah,
in the
sure,
onboarding
We're in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Right now, for bars, we offer a free trial if they just want to see what it's like.
What's the free trial look like? Do I get a month, or if I'm a bar, what do I get from that free trial?
Yeah, a month.
Okay, nice, nice.
Yeah, and then if they like it, which we have confidence.
Oh yeah. So most of the people, good for you guys, but yeah. So most of the people that have the free trial, are like, oh my god, this works, and they're kind of more excited about it,
Yeah. Well, that's the stage that we're at right now.
Oh, okay.
It's all like happening at once. Yeah. No, we created our MVP. Well, Aviv did. So people on our team, she led the development, and it was really just like January 1 that we were able to start bringing on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
It's been like 3 weeks.
How long was the development process? Like a solid year to get all this stuff built out, or what would you say?
We started with a low-code tool called Retool, which is kind of more of like a prototyping software, essentially. Not really intended to take to market as we learn through iterating, but that is kind of like more of like a drag and drop situation, but for apps. And really like the newest thing that you could find online that I demoed to you earlier, that I started in probably like September. So a good solid few months, but under a year.
I mean, if you guys mind if I put like pics of your website, if I edit in the podcast, you guys don't care about that, right?
Please,
okay,
please. Yeah, we are getting our new landing page out, so maybe we'd want to wait.
Oh, okay. When is the landing page coming out? Yeah.
Hopefully soon. Hopefully
in the next week or two.
In the next week or two.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
How do you guys build your website? Is it WordPress or what do you guys use?
All from scratch in-house, yeah.
So you code everything?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you do that instead of WordPress? Obviously you have the experience too, but even so, why would you do that instead of an easier, like less intensive solution?
One, it's cheaper to do it on our own.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
More customizable, I would say. Easier to scale up to anything you would want.
Okay.
Essentially. Yeah, we've been able to keep our tech costs pretty low doing it how we're doing it. Yeah, I mean, we're like, it's really just the landing page, and then everything else is what we're like the product and the tech itself. It's been just pretty easy to integrate with all the front end that we've been developing.
Yeah. Okay.
With like React and stuff.
And with AI.
And with AI.
Even I can make changes, and I'm not technical.
Yeah. Oh, do you have any coding experience or program type experience?
No, I took one class, but Aviv has showed me how to navigate cursor.
So when you make an edit, because I would probably similar skill level to you. When you make an edit, what do? Do you just ask ChatGPT, here's a code and here's what I want to do, or what do you do?
Well, with cursor,
it's
a new software.
Oh, okay.
It's an ID. It's a code editor.
Okay.
With AI integration.
Is that what you use for most of coding at this point for the website?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you guys aren't using ChatGPT specifically to get code because you have this better tool, this better, more specific use case tool for you?
Yeah, like their large language model, I think, is better equipped to handle like coding questions. But not to say we don't ever use ChatGPT.
Yeah, but also for me, not Aviv's work.
Yeah.
If I'm just going in and changing a color, like you just look at the code and then edit it.
Oh,
so
okay.
It seems like a daunting thing, but it's actually like anyone could do it.
That's good to hear because
like
I'm a bit daunted right now by it. So that's good to hear. Okay. Sorry, but do you guys pay for this cursor thing? How much do you guys pay a month, if you don't mind me asking, for the cursor tool?
I think it's $20 a month.
Oh, that's amazing.
So not
bad at all. Okay.
Not bad. Yeah.
So you guys have, I believe, 3 employees under you guys right now, right? So it's one full-time guy that does development or something like that? Or what's
Part-time.
the?
Part-time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's about 20-25 hours a week.
Okay, but he does development on the website? Okay, and then the 2 interns, I'm just curious, what are they working on? Are they just...
Yeah, one's more back end, one's more front end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just both onboarded last week, 2 weeks ago, so very new and exciting. But yeah, they've been crushing it. So
yeah, they're awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
How did you find them? I'm always curious. Like, I feel it's super important for a startup to find like actual employees that want to like hustle and stuff. Did you guys like put up flyers on a college campus, or how did you find these interns you guys seem to like?
College campus job boards.
Oh, okay.
So
nice.
it's something called Handshake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So post them to different schools.
And
then we also have unofficially, they're not like team meetings every week, but we do have essentially sales reps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you guys have these 3 people plus these sales reps. You kind of do like a commission type basis, or?
Yeah, exactly. So just like with college students, they're basically like our ambassadors.
Yeah, yeah.
So I pay them to if they get a bar to sign on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is all so new, like the last week. So we're really excited to see.
What made you guys pull the trigger to actually hire employees? Was it just that you had like the proof of concept to it, or what? 3 employees in the past couple weeks is a lot. Like, what made you guys actually do that?
I mean, there's just so much work to be done.
Okay.
At a certain point, you just need extra hands on board helping. Yeah, like I think it ends up being pretty time consuming to do like minor UI changes here and there, and having somebody to help out with that like really opens up time for us to do like more bigger, like scoped project. Yeah. So.
Did you guys ever look in like hiring virtual assistants? Like why pay an American educated college kid? We could just pay some guy in India to do it for like $2.
So we're not paying. It's like they're building their portfolio. We're not paying them.
Okay. That makes sense.
No, it's a good question.
Yeah.
They're looking for experience.
Yeah,
and just like getting like stuff for their resume, building up their portfolio, getting real world work experience on like a product that they could actually have a big impact on. So that's
true. That'd be a cool portfolio.
Yeah. It's essentially probably like the same amount of time for them as like another class, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I think for some cases you could use it for class credit as well. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Like that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
I was like, please let me know. Like, we can give me any form because I'd love to give that to them.
So how did you guys? Just like what was it? One college you guys went to? Some college in New York, or like did you? I don't know what this handshake thing is, but is it like a cross country thing or?
Yeah.
Like where'd you find these college kids to intern for you guys at?
So, with Handshake, if you are an employer, you just request at different schools to post your job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then they accept it, and then it shows up on the college students' feed. And then they apply. Is
this, when you say feed, is this like some Twitter feed, or is this just like some job board that the college sends all
the Handshake feed, the job board feed? Yeah, it's a cool program. I definitely used it when I was in college.
So specifically the interns you guys have under you, they're not local. They're not within the vicinity of you guys, right? They are. They're virtual. They're working virtual right now.
Yeah, they're virtual.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, so another question I had written down is how do bars typically use it to, I asked that question, I'm sorry, guys. Challenges, so challenges you face during the SMS development, like I said, people don't really know what goes into making an SMS tool. What were some just unique challenges? Like, I know you said you had to, like pacify all the providers and stuff like that, but what are some unique challenges, like specifically for this weird SMS thing that you guys are doing?
Yeah.
I mean, not weird like that, but yeah.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you're using another, like a third-party software to help out, like you're just gonna run into challenges when it's out of your control. One, like probably the most frustrating challenge is just that it's like it takes at least a week to get approval for like any new brand to bring on board. Like,
oh really?
It's all like manually reviewed. So that
every single bar is manually reviewed by these carriers or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to make sure they're like real, they're not going to be a spam. As I said, it's a very big like consumer protection issue. So, you know, like little things. If you like forget this one clause, they'll like give it back to you, and then like the week starts over. So we're still trying to refine how we can get that done as quickly as possible. But at some point, it's just going to be a bottleneck that we have to kind of like build into our timeline.
Yeah, we'll probably have someone handling all of that.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's essentially customer service.
So like when you are building out this SMS stuff, like what does the actual work look like? Is it a lot of like talking on the phone with these people, or is it a lot of like filling out forms online? You know, like
forms online and like emailing.
Oh, okay.
They're hard to reach on phone. Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume so.
They're really hard.
They're really hard to reach. They make it challenging. Yeah.
Okay. Just quick side note, can you guys go like a little bit past 1 o'clock? It's already 12:44 right now. Yeah. If not, you guys.
What time?
You guys
can go. It's 12:45. We can go a bit past, I think.
Okay. I'll kind of focus on these questions I wrote down. Yeah. If you know, just let me know if you guys want to start to close it.
What time should we say?
Be generous with me.
1:10.
Okay, that's fair.
1:15.
Yeah, 1:10.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, yeah. Is there a specific kind of bar that benefits more? Do tiki bars do better than college bars? You know, or yeah.
We are learning this right now, and so we're really excited to see this because we have this affiliate marketing program with college students as like the sales reps, essentially, and then I'm bringing on bars in New York City. So we're really going to get some awesome data to compare college bars versus something more, extremely urban. Yeah. Of course, there's so many different types of bars in New York City. Off the bat, you know, we know that our model is perfect for bars that want higher volume.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. That's pretty like a no-brainer, but still curious to see like, you know, sports bar or club. Like we're getting all this data right now.
So someone that wouldn't benefit as much would be like a really socially ingrained bar that like everybody knows about, like you know, like this is Timothy O'Toole's, like something like that wouldn't benefit as much as like you know what I'm saying, like a neighborhood bar that everyone knows has been there for decades wouldn't benefit as much as like a startup tiki bar. I
agree. We are working with a neighborhood bar and they're really excited.
Okay,
but we've talked to other ones that are like, we don't really even like our POS system. We don't want any tech.
It really depends because, you know, like in Timothy O'Toole's case, you know, there's so many people who like go all the time. But like, you know, for example, like if you live in the neighborhood and like all of a sudden they're running this like awesome deal, like people would like just like leave their house immediately and go over there. So there is a benefit for most bars. There's like, really only a few that would be like immediate no. I feel like for the most part, like we want to be broad so we could really figure out exactly the perfect use case.
Any bar that is giving out drink deals and hosting events like karaoke or trivia, which is most bars, aligns with what we're doing. There are those bars that are like, these are our drinks, like, and we're not lowering the price. And, you know, we don't really.
Are those more like the very high end bougie type bars, or is it? It's just random which bar.
It's unpredictable.
Like okay.
Yeah. It's unpredictable. But when I walk into a bar and I see that every day of the week they have something going on, they have different happy hours, I'm like, this is perfect. People need to know about this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is cool. So, do you guys have competitors? Like, this seems like such a no-brainer idea. Do you guys have competitors that aren't serious competitors? But is there anybody doing something similar to you guys right now? You know.
There definitely are other SMS providers, but kind of as I was kind of like walking you through, there's a lot of like compliance and stuff you got to deal with, and bars in particular like don't have the bandwidth to invest in, like, you know, one of their bartender going through the whole thing and like figuring out the like Verizon regulations.
So the tools that do exist are if the bar were to use them, it's a lot more. They gotta go through the steps. Whereas with you guys, you like they don't have to take care of the provider worrying about spam and all that kind of stuff. Whereas you guys just make it easier for them.
Exactly.
Basically.
We wanted to like minimize clicks. Like they log in. Hopefully
Yeah.
they get
Okay.
it
Yeah.
clicks.
Like other SMS services You have to upload a contact list. That's a big thing.
Okay.
Bars don't have people's contacts.
Yeah.
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 It's like little things like that we've built in to do exactly what Aviv just said.
So the other services like this, the bars have to, they can't just leave a QR code out like you guys do. They have to actually say, here's all 50 of our customers that we want you to start reaching out to.
For the most
Or am I
part.
misunderstanding? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have to upload their own and just kind of like go through the rigmarole.
Yeah. So you guys are really the only ones that makes it even close to this easy, would you say? You guys are the only ones that makes it even close to this easy for for bars to do this thing, you know?
I think we're the only like SMS app that's like specifically going after bars.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, okay. So were you gonna say something?
No, yeah. There's always gonna be a competitor, you know.
Yeah.
So and the competition also is just like not doing it. Like social media could be our competitor.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
People staying at home on the couch, not going to
our
bars.
Competitor,
the biggest competitor.
Yeah.
B2C apps are competitors in some ways. If a bar is already involved in it.
So tell us, business to consumer versus business. Are there existing, or what would a business consumer app like your guys look like? You know.
Like our original iteration of the idea was more like you could see where your friends are going out. Like you're trying to figure out where to go out. You could see like whatever a bunch of people are at this bar. That would be B2C.
Yeah.
Like it depends on like consumers like downloading an app, actively using it.
Oh, so that was the original idea was. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Way back
cool
when.
to see it evolve.
Yeah.
How long did you guys run with that before you realized, we should sell right to the bars, you know?
That's a good question. Yeah, probably around 3 months. We like wireframed it.
What does that mean? I don't know all these startup terms.
Just like got the design for it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
I learned that through her.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you did target audience. Yeah, okay, so marketing strategy. Just like, what is your guys' strategy right now? Is it just going in person to bars and basically cold calling them? Do you guys, put up stickers like podcasts or, what's your like rough communication / marketing strategy?
Yeah.
Would you say?
What's worked the best is just creating a direct relationship with who we'd want to be working with. And so that results in just leveraging our network, going to door, being face-to-face.
Okay.
Goes such a long way.
Yeah.
And then, as I mentioned, having these ambassadors for last call.
Yeah.
Do the personal work as well. It's all very much go to the bar, talk to them. Yeah.
What are these ambassadors? What is that like? Are these mostly just college kids that you say, here, I'll give you $100 if you get this thing, or?
Literally.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Nice. Okay. Is that what it is? $100? Is that what it is?
$50 per bar.
Oh, okay.
But I told them if they get more than 5 bars on, I'll start paying them $100.
Dude, how many bars have you gotten like that? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, we just started this past week, so hopefully they're doing their thing. Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah. All right. Very cool. So this is a broad question, but like for scalability, how do you see Last Call evolving over the next few years? Do you want to maybe do like restaurants? I don't know your business, but it seems like bars is the way to go. But what would a rough idea of scaling this thing and expanding your business look like?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question. I think like it's so fun to just be like, this is gonna be all hospitality, like hotels, restaurants, casinos, everyone. And I think like going in with that mentality, like we want to take this as far as we can go, is like the right call. But we plan on being very data driven. So if we go into restaurants and it's just so much more challenging than we ever could have anticipated, like we're gonna follow that. Like we definitely want to scale and continue to find like other avenues of success like within the hospitality industry.
Yeah. But I mean, you think in the next couple of years, it's mostly just going to be expand into bars, right? Because there's a million bars.
Yeah, and also food is a bit differently because when people go out, they want to pay money. They want to have something high quality, and that's part of the experience.
For food, you mean?
Yeah. Versus everyone was happier for a cheaper drink.
Yeah.
It doesn't deter from the value or the experience. If anything, makes it better.
Yeah.
So that's why we're sticking with alcohol, and I'd say even just like events.
Yeah.
Food is more so that would be something really interesting to test out. But from the data that we've gathered, it wouldn't be as much of a pull.
Can I ask? I have no SQL coding experience. When you say like you gather this data, is this just like you typing stuff into a spreadsheet, or do you guys have some sort of somewhat automated systems to grab data for you guys? You know,
all of our data is stored in Firestore, which is a big database. And yeah, it's pretty easy to get some like analytics and metrics from that.
Like, how do you guys actually get? Is it you manually inputting this stuff, or do you have some sort of tool that'll automatically say, "Oh, this bar gained 3 customers," or "Here's how many texts were sent out to this many people"? You know.
Yeah, we have that built in. Like in terms of like actually
so
analyzing, you just again, we're so early, but with the way that we've set up our database, it would be pretty easy to go in and like write up like a SQL script to get those numbers processed.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. So, what is the new landing page going to look like? Is it going to look similar to the old one, or what is
It's going to look much more simple, much simpler, and have like a clear call to action.
Yeah.
And just get their. We've definitely gotten some feedback like from like right off the bat that people don't quite understand what we're doing. So we want to get rid of that issue.
Okay.
We want people to really have a very clear, because it is pretty simple.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Just want to figure out a way to.
I think the UI on the website made it not as clear what you guys are doing, or no?
A lot of the content.
Yeah, I think the copy. We're definitely changing the wording.
Okay.
Highlighting the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, as Aviv said, clear call to action. So instead of having a button that says waitlist and demo, just having demo throughout. Little things like that. Removing the pictures, making it very...
Removing the pictures, really? Just to make less distraction, really? Or...
The pictures right now are a little blurry, so they had to go.
Okay.
But in terms of pictures, yeah, I mean, we're still, like, part of the awesome startup grind is that you could change and add whenever you want.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We want to start simple and, add animations, make it cool, make it, like, colorful and appealing. So, we'll see.
So I think you answered this. I'm just curious, because obviously I do a lot of work on WordPress, but the reason that you just straight up code everything is because it's, well, one, it's more cost, it's cheaper, and two, do you think does that mean it's because it's cheaper? Is that why you code everything and you don't bother paying WordPress monthly subscription and
Yeah, I mean, I think right off the bat, like if we wanted to. I mean, honestly, I haven't really thought too much about it. Like, I was just like, I could do this by myself.
Yeah, maybe
do it.
Yeah, because you have that skill.
But
so we built it in, like the actual platform.
Yeah, and then you could just like build it in, like the actual platform
on the website.
So bars log in through the website, and it's all in one.
I mean, honestly, I haven't used WordPress. Like, is that something you could do? Like,
I mean, yeah, you just have to get the right plugins and stuff like that. But again, I'm coming from a place of like ignorance for coding, so maybe that's like a non-question, because if you already know how to do it, maybe it's not even worth it to go WordPress or something like that, or Envato or something.
I mean, what I'm more leaning toward is like using some sort of like front end landing page library, like that you could then integrate into your own tech. So I would be more
like a
willing, like a template, exactly, like more willing to go that route than WordPress, because again, just having to use another provider,
something like point of failure.
We just want to, like, having complete ownership is just, it's always
totally, that makes sense. Okay, well, both of you. So, what is the most surprising thing you learned building this business? Then I asked, have you done similar things, or you guys both shared your cool childhood entrepreneurial adventures, But yeah, what was the most surprising thing both of you guys learned while building this business?
Love that question.
A lot.
Yeah. I would say a couple things. I'm sure we could like list a bunch. I guess we knew that like bars were an atypical customer base, just like for the reasons we kind of mentioned. But like as we've learned more and more about how to communicate them, like it definitely has been a bit of a surprising journey. Like they're definitely not like a Google Calendar oriented business by any means.
Oh, really?
Like,
okay.
Like figuring out their communication style, like that's been a like ongoing journey, but surprising.
Every bar is different.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna be a different attitude and tone, and some are so casual.
Yeah.
And some are corporate.
Even like they're dealing with you guys, some are more casual, some are more professional, and still incorporated. Yeah.
And we've gone, just taken a couple shots, hung out, and they're like, yeah, we're down.
Yeah.
And others were like cold outreach, one meeting with this person, one meeting with this person.
Yeah. So is that common? You guys just kind of go to bars, sit down for a drink or two, and then kind of just talk, like, naturally just pitch to the bartender?
That's what I was
cool,
doing.
dude.
But then I had to stop that because it was
too much.
It was too much drinking.
Alcohol, yeah.
And I was like losing a lot of money, and I was like going to these bars, and then once you figure out your quote unquote script, now when I approach bars, I have the confidence of I know what works. I don't have to buy a drink.
Yeah.
And that was actually something surprising that I learned, was just being so transparent forward goes such a long way. It felt like at first we had to, or me personally, like had to seem a certain way, seem more established.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a bit more like guarded, but then the more I leaned into, hey, like we're beta testing, like I really just want to chat.
Yeah.
You know, and they ask questions and I'm like, yeah, we're early. Like it really builds trust.
That's cool to hear, because I love that. I know I did real estate for, and I had to do a bunch of like professional sales training, you know.
Yeah.
That's cool though. So you guys found them more just not necessarily casual, just like not as much of that like facade around you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Like not going and being like, yeah, we have all these bars, we're doing this, being like, no, I live in the area. You know, like I live, that's like the kind of my favorite bars I go to, being like, oh, I live a mile away.
Yeah.
Like I came here because I knew about it, you know, just like really leaning into that. Building the relationship, learning that the better the relationship, the more likely they're going to convert.
Sure. Yeah.
Which sounds silly. It sounds like a no-brainer. But I had to learn that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's good for me to hear, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so another question. What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs either looking to break into similar things or like just in general, you know, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs? Do you think listen to your heart, you know, what do you think? I don't know. Both of you guys, if you don't mind. But,
yeah, we were kind of chatting about this earlier, but I think my biggest piece of advice would be like chat with everyone you can and be really kind. Like I feel like when you're super early stages or first time founders, like you're only gonna get any type of success if people are helping you out. Like you can't do anything by yourself if you don't know the world. So you like people are gonna need to help you, and so like putting good energy out into the world and like helping other people and being open like is gonna open a lot of doors for you. And like you have to be open to that help, and you have to position yourself in a way that people want to help you.
Yeah, that's a good answer. What about you?
Yeah. 2 weeks before Aviv and I reconnected, I was talking to someone who owns a co-working space in New York City, and we were talking about this very thing, but I, wasn't really an entrepreneur yet. Sure. And he was like, you have to do the very next thing. It's like, don't think about the bigger picture. Just like, do the very next thing. And then I saw Aviv and I was just like, okay, let's talk.
Yeah.
And
that's great advice, right? Yeah.
I still, because we talked about this, sometimes my mind goes to the bigger thing, but then thinking about like the very next step makes everything feel really tolerable and like attainable. That's
really good advice. Okay, so
like she actually like all the time will be like, "Oh my god, Aviv, like the biggest idea ever! Like we have to do this." I'm like, not the next step. But there was something today. I was like, "Is that priority one?"
She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Do you think?" Yeah. Bliss go a really long way for me because like I have to remember priorities and. Yeah.
But knowing the priorities is a challenge in and of itself. So I think,
because we do constantly have to shift gears because, Aviv and I might be talking and say like, okay, let's roll out this next feature. And then, for example, in the past week onboard a bar and they're like, yeah, we really want this.
Yeah.
And we're working on that. It's something completely different. It's like, well, now this is in our face because we want to onboard them as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And it's like a specifically requested thing. So it's a lot of going with the flow.
Yeah. That's good. I've heard that advice a lot. And I was like, I'm assuming we have a similar temperament in terms of like ideas and stuff and just like very ADHD, like shiny object syndrome, Yeah. Yeah, you're laughing because it's
called
true.
out. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, right?
Yeah. I just got so excited.
But no, I know for me, I definitely get shiny object syndrome, and I heard, just focus on your next couple steps. It makes it like less intimidating, but also just like a lot more realistic. Like, oh, okay, this is real world. Like, it's not just some vague pipe dream, or it is that, but like right now, I can take these real, actual steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not to say to not, think big, because in terms of like me going out to bars when we didn't have the product at where we are now and just be, try with people, has already converted. So it's like, think about everything at once, being one step further. What is the 5 steps, and then what is the 10 steps? But then prioritize yourself at the next one.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, but yeah, I like that because I've heard that before, and it's great to hear other entrepreneurs saying that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll kind of wrap up somewhat soon. So, last few questions. Okay, I'll just read it. So, what keeps you motivated? Growing last call. Are there any personal experiences you tapped into for motivation, like maybe having a chip on your shoulder, which is common for entrepreneurs, like having a chip on your shoulder, envy of someone else, some teacher that called you dumb, near-death experience, a certain realization, psychedelic trip, etc. Just answer that question.
I would say we both like really love a small win. They really fuel us going forward. So like,
oh, nice.
Like really like little things. Obviously getting our first beta wasn't really a small win; it was a big win. But
I shed a tear.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, really?
I was so happy.
I
was jumping around.
Awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah. Of course. Like it just feels so good, and like, not taking the little things for granted. Like similarly, it's easy to get bogged down when something doesn't work out. But like when like little things do work out, like when a new brand gets approved, and then like that box is checked, like really be like, yay, like that's what just happened. And then like sharing that with each other, like that keeps us like happy and excited.
Yeah, I'd say we're very much not like looking back of like this thing happened, so now we need to do this. It's more so like, oh my god, like what can we do? Yeah. And we really understand the problem, which I think gives us a huge leg up of bars need to attract customers. Yeah. So it's a very exciting space to be in. Because there's so much potential all the time.
What about, I'll just give an example. Like, I know myself, I went, basically like halfway through middle school, I realized, like, okay, now the majority of stuff I'm learning is, like, legitimately useless, and, like, all these teachers are wasting my time with all this stuff, right? And so, like, that was, like, a weird personal motivation for me to be an entrepreneur, because it was, like, I'm not going to follow this silly robotic path everyone follows, you know? And it's, like, that, like, hit my soul or spirit or whatever. Are there things like that for you guys? Like, I know you said you are one to more be like maybe not like question authority, but like want to go your own way,
Yeah, 100%. Like, I studied Japanese just because I thought it was cool. And it is. Yeah. And it doesn't really translate into like the work that we're doing. But then like Aviv showed me the coding stuff, and it's like the whole language aspect just reminds me of it. And I just think when you go with what you like, you can really apply it. So I wasn't necessarily like anti
school
being a cog, but it's definitely, now that I'm in this pathway, it's strengthened it for me.
Nice. Okay. Again, that's just. What about you? Would you say there's like weird?
I would say like I mean, up until recently, basically, I was gonna like full send being a consultant, which is like the definition of being a cog.
Yeah.
Like,
but a successful one,
that's just the thing. But and I'm not opposed. Like I like.
Yeah, sure.
For me, like I like keeping really strong, exciting things in my life that are like not involved in work. So I honestly didn't have a huge issue like my job being my job if it like lets me do the things I love. Yeah. But once you start working in a startup and like all the good things that you're doing like directly do just like make your life better and bigger, it is hard to kind of like leave that world behind and then go back to doing something like very meaningless for like a big corporation that.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Do you think it's more just like you see the direct impact of your life with this more entrepreneurial stuff as opposed to?
Yeah, I mean, it just like impacts you way, way more. Like if I like made a mistake, for better or for worse, I'd feel really guilty. Like I would, but the same thing. Totally, like if we had a big win, like I would actually feel like, oh my gosh, 100%. I just did it, and like be so excited and like really have that fuel me. Yeah. But like, I like sealed a if I like made a really good PowerPoint deck for my client consulting and like it went well, I'd be like, okay, yeah, like what's my next task? Like I'm gonna clock in and clock out at my 40.
Yeah.
And not just, I mean, yeah, like I think that also again, like if that opens you up to do the exciting things that you want, like that is ultimately the thing that matters most, I think, to most people. Like having a life where they could get all their needs met.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just this is like a new need that I didn't know I needed to have met, but now I do, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like shoot, gotta fill
Got
that.
it.
It's all about stability. Like I'm okay with a little instability.
Same, yeah.
I live like a interesting, I like a funny living situation. Like.
Oh, can you tell us, or no? You don't have to. If you know.
Yeah, no, I live with 6 people in like a Brooklyn loft apartment.
Oh, that's so cool, dude! I saw these.
You would love it.
Yeah. Dude, I saw these TikToks of these. Yeah, it was basically like 6 friends that live together. They all share the same kitchen space.
Yeah.
Everyone's hanging out at nighttime and stuff.
Yeah.
I gotta go to New York. That sounds so cool, man.
People can make it work. Like I'm making it work, but
is it co-ed? It's guys and girls.
Yeah, it's guys and girls. I met
that's
them
not
when
weird
I moved
that
in.
it still works. Well, okay.
No, everyone's very respectful.
Yeah, okay, I mean,
I'm sure in the history of the apartment things have happened. Like, it's
sure.
been. I think people have been going in and out for over 10 years at this point. I learned stories, and it's definitely a historic apartment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can you tell us this? You don't have to.
No, it's like little tidbits. I hear gossip about the past people.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, just like naturally.
How'd you find that living situation? Were you looking for that specifically to live with most people?
I didn't want to live with anyone, but then I saw it on Facebook. It kind of felt like more would be less, which is so true. Like, there's no drama ever. Everyone cleans up after themselves.
Oh,
because
really? Okay.
There's no, like, accountability of, like, you leave a dish in the sink. You don't have no clue whose it is.
Right.
So you can't really be mad. And then you're like, I'll just wash it. And
okay. So there's not issues with cleaning? Because I know the thing I saw on TikTok, everyone paid for maid service, but you guys don't pay for maids, and everyone still gets along with cleaning and stuff?
We have.
Oh, okay.
We have had someone come and clean, but it's not really as often. I don't know. We started initiating a Sunday clean day.
Oh, cool.
So I clean the bathroom.
Can I ask what you pay for rent? You don't have to answer.
Yeah, no, I pay $11.60.
To live in Brooklyn? Really?
Yeah.
Bro, this apartment, like, whatever, dude. Yeah, that's crazy.
It could be less, and it could be way more. So it is what it is. Yeah.
All right, that's very cool.
It's a fun space.
Oh, you've been. Oh, yeah, obviously
she's
you've been there.
visiting me. It's a fun space, and they also work like on their different things, and like worked with them at night. It's like good motivation. Yeah, are they more hustle entrepreneurial type people that you're living with? Not in like exact way. Not mirrored.
But they're not bringing you down.
No, they're all like, let me do what I want and like to do, and you know, they're definitely more artistic in that way. Like they'll write articles. I have a roommate who does poetry. Yeah. Some of them do their own tech stuff. Yeah. So, hope I answered your question.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Okay. All right, guys. We're gonna go to like 1:12, but I only have 2 more questions left, and that's it. So okay.
I talk all day.
Okay. Good. So, all right. I was curious. So I know you guys explained your personal drives. Is there any you know, like darker, like more like the shadow type things you guys use to motivate you? Like I know, I read this philosopher like Friedrich Nietzsche. He said like basically like actually in Christianity the way they teach envy, it's very like avoided. It's like a scary bad thing, you know. But he was like, no, pay attention to what you envy. Yeah. That's actually gonna give you clues as to what you might not know you want, you know. And so I've tried to incorporate envy in my own personal drive. Another thing is that you know, silly or not, like I said, I've always hated school. I've always thought it was cool to go against the system. I don't have a degree. I always thought that was cool to not have a degree and stuff like that. But are there any more like, or like a chip on your shoulder? Maybe some guy in high school called you a loser or something.
I love these anecdotes.
Yeah,
maybe you're called stupid. Maybe you're called a loser. Yeah. He's like trying to get us to admit. They're like, were you insulted?
No, I mean, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm getting at, right? And
yeah.
Things like that, you know, for you guys.
I think like if I'm my like dark secret, I would say is, I don't know, I really like, I want people to be like, okay, Aviv, like she's like legit, like I do feel like I have to like prove myself, like
yeah, sure,
succeed a lot, and
same.
Yeah. One of my roommates actually said this, and I loved it. This was after we already started last call. But he was like, I just want to go to a cocktail party and, like, people know me.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, wow, you put it so simply.
Yeah.
I don't need to be famous. But it's nice to have some acknowledgement of, like, I did something.
Yeah.
I worked hard, and people, recognize that, and that feels good. And
yeah.
maybe it's shallow, but it is the way it is.
Well, maybe it is, but it's how humans evolve and stuff,
Yeah. I feel like all founders are a little, like, their ego is a big component of why they're doing it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So I think, like, yeah.
Do you guys think you need the ego? Do you guys think that's pretty important, right?
You have to be delusional, I think.
Same, dude. Or that's what I thought,
Yeah, I mean, I think you should stay humble, like.
Humble but delusional.
Humble, but, like, you have to go in thinking you're going to succeed.
Yeah. You're not gonna. And you have to have a little bit of arrogance for, like, because I'm guessing there's most people are telling you, no, that's silly to do that, right? And so you have to have a little bit of arrogance to be like, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow my own path, not listen to these people.
I'm so arrogant. But then you have to be, like, so open to criticism. Like, if someone tells you something, you can't be like, you have to be like, oh. Yeah. And then think about it and then incorporate it. So it's, like, arrogant. I don't know. Do you think not with others, but within yourself.
I know what you're saying. Like, you're not going to make other people feel bad or something.
Right.
Do you think you were already good at, for lack of a better term, like taking criticism just because you guys have those critical thinking logic skills? Or do you think that once you started last call, that's when it was like, I get too emotional when someone criticizes me. Now I need to learn how to do that better.
Interesting.
I pride myself on taking criticism well. Like,
good for you. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just, like, really can't stand when people don't take criticism well.
Same,
so
dude.
I really don't want to be, like, hypocritical in that. Yeah, I think, like, what I'm, like, weaker at is, like, advocating for myself.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it, like, doesn't come as naturally to me. So that's something I've had to, like, actively work on.
Yeah. Would you say the same? Do you struggle with advocating for yourself or not as much?
No, I probably
don't think so
too much.
Okay, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I probably do it way too much. But that's something that I learned. Like, once you do it a few times, you're like, whoa, it works. So then you can really lean into it because, I didn't really have to do it that much advocation where I was working at before and the things I was doing.
Do you guys think, I mean, obviously it's 2020, 2025, do you guys think people are like, do you guys think people don't take you as seriously because you're girls? Or no, do you think for the most part people are open-minded?
I think sometimes it even makes it better. Like, people, like, trust us more, like, are more, like, welcome to, like, seeing us walk in versus, like, two guys and, like, a briefcase.
They give me their attention, and why they give me their attention is, like, a bit up for debate, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
We kind of don't really let it get to, like, affect us.
Yeah.
But it could, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I also think, like, a lot of the spaces we're in, there aren't that many women. Like, a lot of, like, tech founder events like, the people who apply to these big, like, VC firms, like, there just aren't as many women. So I do think, like, also we stick out, and then we also have, like, legitimacy to show for ourselves, and sometimes it does open a door.
And
go ahead. What were you saying?
As Aviv saying too, it's like you can also lean into a smaller group being women, and there's not that many.
Totally.
So there are, like, women groups that I'm super excited to explore. I found an email about, like, a summit today, and it's, like, really cool speakers, and they're all women, and I think able to pull that off because you just have a smaller sample size. So.
Yeah. Plus, that could be an advantage when people, I'm assuming they don't write you off, something like you said, but, like, when people do kind of write you off and they realize, oh, wait, he is about it. He does have this status, this knowledge,
Yeah.
I feel like they give you a little more respect when they kind of wrote you off at first, and then they're like, oh, they know what you're doing, they're about it,
Yeah. I think it's also part of, like, in, like, the actual sales and customer acquisition. Like, when I walk in, I'm dressed, like, way more casually than this, too.
Oh, okay.
And just kind of looking like a patron.
And you think that's better? Like, do you think oh, really? Interesting. Okay.
They don't really pay attention to me until I say that I was a bartender.
Oh,
and they're like, oh my God, what you're doing is so cool.
Yeah.
But before they're like, I'm being solicited.
Yeah.
Which they are. So.
Oh, do you think part of it is just like, oh, you're part of their tribe? Like, oh, I'm a fellow bartender. I'm in the industry. Yeah, I've heard that about the industry, Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're like, you have to come for service industry night. Like, we give people 20% off. And then you get, like, in.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask a couple more questions. But because we're wrapping up, any questions like I should have asked or just things you guys want to share about the business or your personal motivations or whatever?
covered a lot.
You know, yeah, I know. And thanks for sticking with me. But
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I would say like the only other thing that I think is important is that like a lot of times you want to have like the perfect product before you like send it out to people.
Yeah.
And like you shouldn't wait. Like you should just start building and then put it out in front of people and then like see what people think. Like it's never too early to start. Like like take the risk. It's not a risk. Like expect you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
Don't let perfect be the enemy of good.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I think it's not a risk because you can always do something.
Yeah.
Simpler. I could go get a job.
You can always just go back into a regular salary job if you want.
I can go get a sales job.
And like worst case, just lose. LLCs exist. Worst case, just lose your investment. You know, and like you're not gonna
No kids.
No kids.
Yeah, exactly. No
It's
kids.
a big thing.
No family to worry about right now.
Not feeling like, oh my god, I'm failed. Being like, whoa, I failed at 23, but like, what's gonna happen at 28?
You failed, but like have learned so much. Like like we've also just learned so much more than like ever. Yeah,
it's like, crazy.
Every day is something new.
Oh, cool. You think you've, in like a certain sense, you learn more from your entrepreneurship journey than you would have like in school or college?
Oh, definitely.
100%.
I love that. Yeah.
Like you're applying it. Like you learn how to learn in college, which is super helpful. Like
totally,
I do really value my degree, but like in terms of like applying it and like actually seeing how world operates, like being an entrepreneur, like you have to learn like all the legal stuff and like writing contracts and like making an entity, like all things I would never have learned in school.
Yeah.
Learning how to be resourceful, do it cheaper and faster. It's like, you can't be taught that. You just have to learn through your mistakes.
Yeah. Okay, anything else you guys want to share? I should ask you guys, you know? Those are great answers.
I'm sure I'll think of something later. But
yeah, I know. That always happens. All right, so last couple of questions. I do one for both you guys. So we'll start. Like, do you guys have a favorite book? Either of you guys a favorite book?
I have so many favorite books.
I know it's like what's your favorite song, but like maybe for business, that kind of category. You know?
For business, you probably have a better.
I started reading. I don't read that much.
Well,
I've gone into phases.
Okay.
But I started reading this book, The Science of Selling. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
I've been learning so much. I'm only halfway through. I tell Aviv about it every day. Like, and in my book, I learned this. Because it's cool. It breaks down kind of to ignore those typical sales tactics and just look at different studies that actually have validness to back it up.
Yeah.
And actual data, which is cool because a lot of the stuff I learned about when I was studying psychology. And so I reread it in the book and then I apply it to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you use your psych degree to like, not in a bad way, like manipulation skills, you know?
I mean, exactly like what I mentioned of like things that are talked about in the book. I already know all the words and what they mean and, you know, why people do. I'm not like a psychology expert. I didn't get my PhD, but like after studying like a general understanding of like why people do certain things. And so I think it does make going into something like sales or customer service or just anything customer facing maybe like a smoother transition.
Yeah.
But I also would say kind of going back to how we're both like into data and the facts and numbers, like that's kind of how my brain works, where I feel like I could imagine someone else wouldn't want all that info.
Yeah. I wrote that down. Science of Selling. What about you, Aviv? Even if it's a couple books, I'll read them if they're good. If the first couple pages are good, I'll read them. But yeah, give me a couple books you like, or
Yeah, to Emma's dismay, perhaps. Like I don't like reading books that are about like businessy stuff.
Sure.
Like I like reading for me like is like reserved for pleasure.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So podcast, different story. Like I like
that's another question, but
podcasts. But books, I mean, I don't know. If I could only read one thing, it would definitely probably be Harry Potter over and over again.
Really?
The series. I love Harry Potter.
Okay.
So
that's an okay
awesome.
answer. All right, what about this?
Just
Any books like you've learned a lesson from, fictional or not, that you think you've been able to apply to business type stuff, you know? Yeah.
That's a good question. Let me think.
Yeah, take your time. You don't have to answer that now.
I'll
but
put on that.
yeah. My next question was, what's your favorite quote, or multiple quotes is okay, you know?
I'm like, fear has killed more. Fear
Yeah.
has killed more dreams than failure around.
Yeah. I know, I guess a hard question to just answer off the dome, but like, yeah.
I saw a quote recently that I really liked that was like, I'm gonna botch the wording, but it was talking about how like the risk of like going through a risk in itself is, or not taking a risk, like, is the risk in itself. Like, if we didn't go through last call, we would, because we were, like, scared of, you know, obviously, like losing money or failure and stuff, that we wouldn't have ever.
Yeah.
Something else I've been loving, too, is, like, and I think I said this to you yesterday, maybe not, but, like, a decision, not making a decision is a decision in itself. Yeah. Like, being in that limbo phase, and I've been obsessed with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone in the world can relate, because you have to make decisions every single day about what you're going to eat, who you're going to date, where you're going to live, like, everything. And the work we do, it's, like, constantly, we're, like, there's no right or wrong, and we also are first-time founders. So we have to just send it all the time.
Yeah. I like those. What about you? Any quotes you really like?
Yeah, I mean, I said this earlier, but and very aligned. Like, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Like, nothing's gonna be perfect. If you have something good, get it. Get eyes on it.
Yeah, I need to hear that.
Yeah.
So it's easy to unconsciously use perfectionism as a way to procrastinate without even realizing you're doing it.
Exactly.
You know?
Which is my issue. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm asking about your book, but so, you know, favorite podcast / movie. I like The Wolf of Wall Street because it's all hype and motivational. You know, any like movies that just get you hyped for business, or specifically for that are good, or like I said, maybe they're fictional, but they've taught you lessons about life and business, that kind of thing.
I'm watching Grey's Anatomy right now. I'm really obsessed.
Come on,
they are on the grind. Are you kidding me? They're working like 100-hour weeks.
That's true.
In and out of surgery, and they're so passionate, and they're not letting up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Have anything like that? There's gotta be a movie.
I mean, I guess I'm like, it seems like a bit of a cop out, but like I'm watching Severance right now.
Okay.
Which is very about like the corporate. It's like ultra corporate cog.
Yeah.
Energy.
Okay.
It's
so
really good. It's like
really?
a great show.
It's so
like
good.
everyone's obsessed. It's really good. But yeah, like the whole premise is like you have like your work self and your non-work self, and that they're really separate. So I think like and it's like a whole, like it's really bad. Basically, it's not a good way for them to do it.
Yeah.
Not a spoiler, but yeah, I think like integrating work into your life and doing things that are like actively meaningful and like not. Yeah, I kind of, again, what I was touching on about like enjoying the startup culture, but like being present in your work.
Yeah.
All right, what about last one now, actually? Like, what about podcasts? Any good podcasts? You guys like YouTube channels, something like that, you know?
Well, YC has really great podcasts. Do you know what YC
The Combinator?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So I listen to those a lot. They just speak so clearly. It's like really easy to understand in a way of like direction and plan, and they have this awesome one out that was about like how to live your life in your 20s and like what they've learned from mentoring different founders. I found it to be really helpful.
Any good tips you give me how to live your life in your 20s?
You should watch the video. It talks about risk a lot. It talks about a lot of things we touched on.
Yeah.
Watch it. It's a fast watch.
Is it just called, if I just look up Y Combinator, how to live your life in your 20s?
Yeah. For sure.
What about you? You said podcasts, you know?
I forgot what it's called, but there's basically a podcast that's just like what's going on in the tech world today. And it's like everyday small episodes. I forgot exactly what I could get it to you after, but
text me after.
Tech is very, like, everything's always changing. There's always a new big thing. So, like, if you're not up to date, you're, like, months behind, basically, is the big thing people always say. So, just, like, staying relevant, like, big things that are happening.
Okay. All right, that's it. That's the end of our questions, you know. So, yeah, okay, we'll wrap up. But, yeah, thank you so much, guys, for coming on the podcast, you know.
Exactly.
I'll edit it.